KTN News.
So now the First Lady of the United States, Jill Biden, has asked the international community to partner with the American government in mitigating the drought situation in Africa. The U.S. First Lady says the 70% of international aid given to Kenya to mitigate drought is not enough, and there is need for concerted global efforts to mitigate the adverse effects of climate change. And here on KTN News, we give you an in-depth coverage of how Dr. Biden spent her day in Kajiado County as she wound up her 3-day tour in Kenya. Sunday morning, song and dance filled the air in Losoit, Kajiado County, as these young boys and girls lined up to welcome the First Lady of the United States, Jill Biden, who decided to end her 3-day tour visit here before heading back to the U.S. Crowning her with their traditional Maasai attires as they sang to welcome Dr. Biden for the first time to their county. Flotters was here to hear from these residents about the drought situation in the country. From the elders of the Maasai community, who explained to floaters how the ravaging drought has affected their livestock. The women were also given the chance to have a sit-down with the U.S. First Lady as they narrated to her their challenges during the drought period.
Children are malnourished. They cannot feed their children. They cannot afford to send their children to schools because there is a fee for the, not elementary school, but the older grades.
And each of these women have taken children to the feeding stations that you saw earlier. They've been evaluated for malnutrition. We heard a story of a woman who thought her children were okay. She took them, and all of them were diagnosed with malnutrition.
Livestock are the main source of livelihood for residents of Losoit. But due to drought, the livestock are dying as the area has got only one source of water that feeds about 12 villages.
They are coming here. The people are coming to get water. They're bringing their livestock to get water. But unfortunately for many of them, the way they make their living is from their livestock. And for most of them, the livestock are dying. So they're having a hard time.
Children have also been affected by drought. Dr. Biden says there is need for other international partners to join hands with African governments to fight drought in Kenya.
But we cannot be the only ones. We need to have other countries join us in this global effort to help these people of the region. And unfortunately, there's the war in Ukraine, there's the earthquake in Turkey. I mean, there are a lot of competing interests.
Everyone needs to help as best we can here because this is going to continue for the foreseeable future. And, this is very personal.
During her visit, she also took the chance to interact with families who are here for a free medical camp that's funded by the American government. Field officers from World Vision and USAID explained to Dr. Biden how they've been helping the community with nutrition and medical aid during the drought.
But even as the First Lady of the United States of America, Jill Biden, leaves Kenya today, her message to the international community is one: let us come together and fight drought in the African continent. Brenda Zeda Radido, KTN News.
So now more than 600 people fleeing the ravages of drought in Mandera and Wajir County have